All right, folks, some of the changes will happen very quickly. And what I'm talking about exactly is real estate changes and sellers' mindsets, right? The buyers, you know what, like the buyers waited for a long time, right? Like the buyers that did not get into the market, they were obviously hit. But then the sellers got hit as well, right? So that's why we have this, you know, paralyzed, frozen, completely frozen market, right? And only within few months we see that people are changing their mindset, and they're changing what they're looking at, and they're looking at the next exit, right? So the terminology, the next exit, is obviously used liquidating corporations and different markets and stocks or whatever. But however, people have to look at the pros and the cons when it comes to some of these decisions, right? So speaking to a client, right, like I would say 6 months ago, right? So the beginning of the year, the beginning of 2025, because yes, they were hoping, anticipating, measuring, calculating, and this was the year. 2025 was the year where everything will shine again, right? So they were clinging onto that for a long time, and now 6 months later they realize that that's not really the case. I mean, things are not happening, or they're not working in their benefit, right? Even though the interest rates went down, then we had the two Bank of Canada decisions that did not have any particular movement, so it's literally a flat line, right? So and they have to be careful with that. Like, if you know economy, they really have to be careful playing with interest rates up or down, right? It can cause bigger problems down the road. Now, the decision and the talk, the actual communication in the beginning of the year to some of these clients was like, no, I'm not selling if it's not what I want to get. Like, it's not gonna happen. This is my house. Like, it was always chest out, one of those things, right? And then, you know, only 6 months later, speaking to the same person, they're like, look, what's a realistic number I could get? And I'm like, okay, so I believe is X. And they're like, okay, so you know what? If I get X, I would be happy. And if we have to go maybe a little bit lower than that, like, let's see, I might even take that, right? So it shows me few red flag signs. One is they are finally realizing, oh my gosh, it's not gonna happen. It's not going to hit, and it's not going to hit good. Second, it's either they have to renew a mortgage, a plan, or whatever it is, and they have to literally renew that, and they know once they do, they're in a banana. That's it, right? Like, it's gonna cost them so much more money to carry a property that they might not be able to carry now, right? So then there's more stuff like maybe they realize it's not for them. Like, things like, you know what I mean, it's too far. Like, I'm speaking to some clients, they moved out of the city, right? And they said, like, listen, I don't need that social setting anymore. I do not need it, right? Like, I can live on a farm, I can be free, I can be surrounded by goats and cows, and I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? I just want peace. Now they're realizing that peace is costing them, because they have to go back to work. They have to go back to their office, or they might not even have a job, right? So those are all the things that literally changed within 6 months. So let me add something else here. So I spoke to different categories, like different fields of employment, like people in IT, people in construction, people in real estate, people in sales, like overall. And like it feels like that every sector is literally crying, right? Like every single sector is crying. Like, you know, some construction guys, and you guys can comment below, like, you know, just comment so everyone else can see, because people are reading these comments, right? So it makes it more, I'm not gonna say believable, but it makes it more authentic when you actually comment, because then people read and then they might comment back or whatever, but it's just the authenticity is there. So anyways, people are sitting at home on their couch. Like I spoke to a guy last night, he does flooring. He's like, I just got a gig and they paid me an hour and it was something very small, so it's only a few $100s. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, these guys were making tens of thousands of dollars in these towers, like putting these floors, etc., right? Framer guys, steel framing or any type of framing. I mean, nobody's building anything. And if they're building nowadays, obviously the lack of new construction is crazy, right? So they're sitting, the framers, here and there, the odd job, but nothing significant, right? Because the odd job is not gonna give you the security of the future, right? Like, you're making a few bucks here and there, like, where's the security at, right? And then other people in other jobs, they're like, you know, like more and more in these meetings, in the corporate setup, they're coming up and they're, you know, saying it and stating it, how, you know, like they have to shave here and shave there and give a haircut here, give a haircut there, because they're trying to save money. Like, some of these corporations are breathing extremely heavily, right? So those are all the problems that we're having, right? Like, the unemployment obviously is rising, and the death ratio is through the roof lately. Like, it's been nuts everywhere. So it seems like everything is coming at the same time, right? Not for everybody, of course, but for majority of the people, everything seems to be coming at the same time, right? So I made a video on that. It's called The Mother of All Crashes on the channel, right? But I mean, what do you really think? I mean, like, do you really think that these real estate prices will continue like to rise, even if you purchase today, even if you said, like, look, I got $1 million, I want to make a couple of bucks, and I think the safest ways to go is real estate. On top of that, like, you know, like in my some of my other videos, I did a poll where I asked people, what would you rather have? Like, you know, $10 million in cash, 200 Bitcoin, like $10,000 per week for life, or $8 million worth of real estate in Toronto GTA paid off. And guess what? Like, that video got thousands of views and people commented or whatever. Nobody chose real estate. Are you freaking kidding me? Nobody, right? and things like that, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, these builder lots, from my understanding, it doesn't even make sense for some of these builders. The cost of building and the actual return on that particular investment, plus the time invested and knowledge, it's definitely not worth it. So I hope you got some value out of this video. So please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.